All right, so let's work on this Amy system. I'm going to be replacing the motors. I replaced the right one already. Let's go ahead and do the left one. Show you guys how to do that. Pretty simple. So I'm going to have to prompt this on the side. Usually you can use blocks. I'm going to use this battery, or you could even tip it on its side, whatever is easier. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use this battery and put it underneath and get started. So let's do it. Hopefully you guys can see that. I am going to use my impact drill to remove this wheel, and this is going to be, I believe it's a 17 millimeter. So let's go ahead and take that off. Now when you order the motor, you definitely want to get the hub with the motor itself. That way you're not struggling to remove this hub right here. If you do have a hub puller, you could definitely use that. And then what I'm going to remove this cover. You don't have to, but it's going to make it a lot easier if you do. And it's just a couple of Phillips screws. It's really not that hard to do. So you remove these three. There's two in the middle, and then there's going to be one here at the bottom left, right here. So you remove that one. You're going to have 4 bolts that you have to remove. Put this aside. So these are the 4 that you have to remove. There's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm sorry, there's 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do have zip ties that you have to cut off in order to remove that cable so it doesn't get in the way. So let's do that as well. So there's 1 that we're gonna cut off. There's 3 total. Here's the other one. Make sure you don't snip the cable. There's a 3rd one, and then there's gonna be 1 here at the bottom. Now, what you can do to make it easier is tilt the chair back, because you are gonna have to remove the front cover, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. It just snaps in there to get to the control module. So I'm going to tilt it far back as much as I can, and that way I get to this 3rd zip tie, which is going to be right there. We're going to cut that, and then this one right here is going to be your motor. This one right there. So let me just go ahead and take that off. It just snaps out, and then you can bring this all the way down. Okay, so to remove the actual motor, you're gonna remove these screws right here, bolts, and this is a 10 millimeter, and I'm using an electric ratchet. This little Ryobi is not too powerful, but it's nice because it does give you the whole ratchet as well, so you can loosen that up. And then remove that, and I do have an extension on there just to reach. Like I said, it's a pretty simple process once you start removing everything. And then, like always, make sure before you remove the motor, make sure that it's the correct one, which I did. So once you get to this point, let me put these right here. You are able to move the handle back and forth, so you can remove it a little bit easier, and it just releases like that. All right, so let's get the other one, which is going to be in here. Let me remove these. The customer was complaining that the motors were grinding, and they were grinding pretty darn bad. this one back in here. Make sure we run this out. This little cable will get stuck every so often, so there we go. We want to go up through here and then down through the bottom, just like that. Okay, so now that we got that, we're gonna line up the holes. You might have to lift this up a little bit, at least to start the first one. Hopefully you guys can see that. But start with the easiest one. The nice thing about these screws, that they're all the same size. So on some of the other power chairs, they're the same size, but they're some of them a little bit longer than others. So once you start one of them, you don't want to tighten it up all the way, but at least they'll catch. Just like that. And then now you can move on to your other ones. Like I said, you don't want to make them tight quite yet. Let's go to the back ones, which there's one back here. You will have to wiggle this one around a little bit. And when I mean wiggle the motor. There we go. That one I made too tight, so I'm gonna have to loosen it up a little bit. Yeah, there's little Ryobi tools. It has like a lithium USB battery, which is not the strongest, but it gets the job done, like little jobs. So this one I'll definitely tighten up. And like I said, this is a size 10 millimeter socket. Perfect. So that's that. Now I'm gonna grab my zip ties, which are down here. I only need 3, maybe even 2. And we're gonna zip tie one of them right here. And we're gonna come over here where the control module's at, which is this one right here. We're gonna grab this. We're just gonna pop it under here, and it should fit in there. Pretty simple. Make sure it does pop in there. And then I am gonna add another zip tie right in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this should take you about maybe 30 minutes or so. Like I said, it's not too horrible. And then we'll just tuck it in just like that. You go ahead and cut these zip ties here. And then once you do that, you're gonna put your cover back on. Where's that cover? Which is gonna be right here. And then you just line up the holes. So you have right there, this little coupling fits in there, and then you got those two right there. So let me grab those. The two larger ones go in the middle. This is just the way I do it. It might be, it's a little bit hopefully this helps anyways. I mean, maybe you have an easier way of doing it, but at least you get the gist of it, I guess, on how to do that. And then we'll tighten this up. That's good. We're gonna put it on freewheel just to make sure it does spin. No, it's tight. It's probably easier once you have the wheel on there. So let me throw the wheel on there. So yeah, this is your hub. Whenever you guys order motors, make sure this whole assembly comes in place. That way you're not having to remove the old one, which is right there. Sometimes it is a pain to remove. It gets rusted at times, and unless you have a hub puller, and even with the hub puller, a lot of times it's kind of hard to remove. But let's pop all these lug nuts in here. Start from the top. There we go. There we go. Nice. There, it's freewheel. Locks in place. So whenever you guys put this cover back on, whenever you try to remove this cover, now